Dan and Amy, and boy, ESPN did their greatest impersonation of View all day yesterday. Anchor after anchor after anchor, sounding like Ashley Judd talking about President Trump, talking about defending the NFL players who protested, criticizing Alejandro Villanueva for the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive tackle, of course, and with the number one selling jersey in the country now. For
the left tackle jersey is very popular these days.
It is when you stand for the anthem and respect this country and remind people to respect people like Alejandro Villanueva, who served this country honorably and as a West Point grad and then 3 tours in Afghanistan. You can understand why people rally to Villanueva. But, I mean, the shrillness of ESPN is jarring. Listen.
Which one are you going to play? Stephen Smith is crazy.
Stephen Smith. I mean, here's Stephen Smith.
What I'm saying to you is this. You don't get to sit up there and get voted into the office of the presidency and then think you have a license to act any way you want. See, what I'm saying to you is that there are some things that you don't need to sit there and wait 4 years to address. In other words, excuse me, you're representing over 350 million Americans. You're representing us throughout the world. We are the leaders of the free world. You're the most powerful man in the world. You cannot conduct yourself that way and then us sit back and go like this. Well, we just got to wait for it. We got to tolerate whatever you're doing.
And in terms of behaving any way you want, in terms of
was that Dennis Rodman or was that Steve?
So many specious arguments bandied about. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, if you disagree with the president, you can disagree with him just like you just did. Who's suggesting you have to stand by and wait or not say what's on your mind? You said what's on your mind. That's America. Max Kellerman, though, this Max Kellerman panel with Bob Lee, this is really telling. This tells you everything you need to know about where ESPN is these days. Listen to this. Kellerman relitigating the 2016 election.
If you, legitimate president, the Electoral College, that's our system, you lose the popular vote by millions, that actually is not a mandate to behave that way. That's actually a situation where you may want to try to reconcile and unify, not behave as though you're only representing.
Get out of 2016. He is president.
For now.
We may all here at this table not have voted for him, but how are you going to affect behavior? You got to engage.
Yeah, it was a Hillary Clinton campaign panel over there. Bristol was apparently Connecticut HQ for Clinton. Very telling. I mean, Bob Lee was the voice of reason on that panel, but we may not have all at this table voted for him. Exactly. So now you know what you're getting. Now you know why Clay Travis refers to it as MSESPN. For more on this and reaction from the perspective of a Hall of Fame player and coach, we're pleased to be joined again by the coach, Chicago Bears legend Mike Ditka. Coach Ditka, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know from what you've said over the years of your love of country and your respect for our military men and women, but I guess the question would be, to some of the criticism that's been leveled against Trump, were his comments appropriate to go after NFL players, to go after them the way that he did, and suggest that there is a better time and place to lodge your protests if you have them?
Well, I think there's always a place for certain words, and there's a place not to say something. I mean, I think the president, he is the president because he was elected president, by the way, last time I checked. And that's when you got the ballot box in our country is to change whatever you don't like. And if they want to change that, they can change that in the next election. But right now, he is the president. Do I agree with what he said about the players? Not really. I don't agree with that at all because everybody has a right to protest. I don't agree with every protest in the world. We've had protests from when the 1800s, 1700s. I mean, it's going to happen. I just think that, football players are football players. I mean, I would like to say that they're a lot more than that. And some of them are very intelligent guys, and most of them are very intelligent guys, but they're football players. So, I mean, stick to football right now. And play the game, enjoy the game, embody it. When you get out of it, you put your money away, put it in the bank. You'll live comfortably your whole life. I don't know any other way to say it. I mean, I played the game. I love the game. I coached the game. It's been my whole life. I'm nobody without football. I appreciate what the game has given me. I've tried to give back. Some people think I've done a good job. Some people think I haven't done a good job. I can't control that. But I know that I respect the sport that made me who I am. So that's all I can say.
Well, what about the football players who are taking a knee? What about Colin Kaepernick? Does that upset you at all, or you just think that's their right to freedom of expression?
It is. It is. You're right. There's no question about it. But this is America. I mean, a lot of people laying on the beaches of Normandy and Iwo Jima and everywhere else fought for our freedoms, fought for their right to take that knee. I think we spit in the face of those people who did that. America is about freedom. It's about opportunity for everybody. Race, color, creed, nationality, religion, doesn't matter. You have an opportunity. That's all you're guaranteed. Now, if you want a handout, that's wrong. But you have an opportunity to become anything you want to become in this country if you're willing to work for it. And that's a fact. Nobody can argue that. They can say anything they want to, but that is a fact. I don't care where you were raised, what side of the tracks you were raised on, what neighborhood you were raised in. You have an opportunity to rise to the top. It's up to you. You can't blame society. You can change anything in society. Society's a little bit screwed up, and it's always been screwed up. But you can become anything you want to become, but that's up to you. It's not up to people to make you that.
If you had a player that wanted to take a knee and to protest during the national anthem, how would you have handled it?
I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to say. It really is. How would I handle it with Walter Payton? Probably a lot better, different than I would have handled if it was the backup lineup. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. I know for one thing it would have never been Walter Payton, so that wouldn't
right. Exactly. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that's a good question. I mean, to me, I'm not in the game. I really don't have anything to do with it. I mean, all I have is opinions. Opinions like noses. We all have one. Some of them run. Some of them don't. It's just what it is.
Do you think the
time in America, and that's fine if that's what it's going to be. I'm too old to get into this hooting and hollering about this, man. It's been a hell of a run for me. I've enjoyed all of it. The country's been great. The NFL has been great. Everything it's been great to me. The Bears, it's all been wonderful. So I'm not going to sit here and criticize something. If players want to do that they got that prerogative. I don't agree with it, but that doesn't make me right or wrong.
Do you think the Bears handled it right on Sunday?
I think, listen, what is the right way to handle it?
Well,
you tell me. What is the right way?
Well, for me, I thought I was at the game, and I thought what the Bears did was classy
and
stand up, and what the Steelers did was sickening. I mean,
the right way to handle it. I don't know if you're the organization. I don't know. What do you say? I mean, but I thought what the Bears did was fine. I looked at a few teams in the NFL. I didn't see a problem with Green Bay or the Bears or some other teams like that. So, I mean, I don't know.
Wait. What about the Steelers staying in the tunnel and not, only one of the players coming out for the national anthem?
God bless America and God bless that player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the game right now? And by the way, the coverage of the game too on ESPN. As somebody that worked for ESPN, I mean, it's pretty decidedly one way. They're not so open-minded as you are in terms of differences of opinion.
Well, that just comes with it. Nothing you can do about that. I mean, everybody has an opinion, and that's ESPN. It doesn't. I mean, individuals. Listen, you can always say what you believe. I don't care who you work for or where you work. I mean, if you work at Fox or you work at NBC or you work at CBS or you work at ESPN. I think the main thing is we got to get away from putting the political emphasis into some of these comments and just leave it be at football. Football is a great game. You watch people play it. You watch them. The athletes today are so great. They're so much better than they were 20 years ago or 30 or 40, especially 50. I mean, when I play the game, these guys are incredible what they can do. They're better, bigger, stronger, faster, and they're better athletes, period. I mean, I don't know that the only thing that would have even gave me a chance to play in today's game is my will. They have a will to play, that's all. And I think, by the way, I think that might be the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, are you concerned at all that the politics?
I'm concerned about America right now. I really am.
More so than football.
Well, yeah, I think we got to be careful. It's easy to. The criticism really comes easy. I mean, I think it's hard. The responsibilities that come with certain jobs are tremendous, and they always do them right, And we can go back in my history, and every president, you don't do them. Everything isn't right, and you don't get everybody to agree with you. But I mean, I think there comes a point there where you say, "Hey, we're not going to open any new wounds." That's all.
All right. He is legendary Hall of Fame coach and Bears player, of course, Mike Ditka. Coach Ditka, thanks for your time as always.
Guys.
Appreciate it. Play well at bobbling today. Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.